Okie doke. And like Aaron just said, last time we got to Ramage. So basically, Isis. What do we have here? The ferryman is seated by his boat, and Isis is approaching him basically. So she's approaching the ferryman as he's seated by his boat, and she had changed her form into an old woman basically. That's as far as we got. So volunteers forward. It's quite a long sentence. We may want to break it up. Who wants to take the first part? No takers?
Try.
No one's gonna do it. I can do it.
Go for it.
Okay, so I think I want to go back because Remich. Wait. Okay, 5-7. Okay, so having transformed herself into an old woman, so it's eu ir s keper s way and ut and Remich, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so.
And then and so that's a I think it's interesting that we got the article, the indefinite article there as singular, a singular woman, old woman, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then okay, and so then it goes UE Shem S Keskes M Keskes. And I'm gonna stop there. And that this is a adverbial phrase that is modifying, or is it an adjective phrase? Is that a relative? Is an adjective phrase that's modifying the old woman? Saying who walks with a stoop, or who walks kes. So it's you is making the phrase subordinate. UE, and then E is like to say, right? So
Could be. What else could it be?
okay.
Is this the third future thing? Like it was hobbling that she came, something like that.
Oh, is that?
If it were third future, would you spell it with a B with an A2?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. There's a guy there, and so it might be it might be something like who it is. I don't know. I don't know what it means. Is there? What?
Well,
do you know, Aurelio?
I think I do. There's one, or rather, there are two things that. Correction, there are three things in Late Egyptian that can start with reed leaf and A2. Excuse me, still having lunch. Imperative is one, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. It wouldn't have a U in front of it.
Imperative. Gotcha. Okay, go ahead.
There are two other things. So I don't think it's an imperative, but it could be one of two other things here.
Well, it could be marking speech, right?
Okay, I guess three things. But I was thinking more like verb forms.
Okay.
So we had the imperative,
Oh, so it's just a relative marker in this place. Okay, so that totally makes sense then.
Oh, it could be one more thing.
Oh,
The emphatic tenses, or like the second tenses in Coptic. They also have that little pathetic yod in front of it.
okay, and so the second tense in Coptic is usually trying to emphasize something later in the sentence rather than the subject. So it's emphasizing the way she walked.
Makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Wow. That's great. So my Coptic is helping me with my late Egyptian, which is the plan. Everything's going as planned. Okay. So it's EU E Shem S. So she who is okay. So it's that she is walking in Keskes. So Keskes is with a hobble, and M, that's the M of predication or identity. So it's modifying the way she's walking. And I like Japanese has lots of words like that, because Keskes kind of has the feel of like hobbling, kind of.
Yeah, it's like those onomatopoetic words in Japanese, right?
Yeah, like goro and stuff.
Actually, it is it's kind of feel more African words, something like tom tom, or there is tons of example in Egyptian vocabulary.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The application.
Japanese actually has a word tom tom that's often written next to the tanuki that's hitting his belly.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
Tom tom is like an adverb for, a way of hitting his belly. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. That's
Or
cute.
it's dum dum or something. Yeah. All right. And that's interesting that that it also points to African language there too. All right, so that's the relative phrase modifying the old woman, or the second tense. So it's an old woman, and then who is walking. That's what the EU is to modify that. Should I go on? Someone else want to take the next line? I'll go on. 5.8. EU wait. Ketem. Shuri. I got it as Ketem. Okay, so that Shuri and Shriyu and Nebu are dirt S. Okay,
Yep.
I'm just gonna go there. And this is also modifying the old woman, a subordinate clause, maybe adverbial clause. And so it's EU wait, which is and a chetem, is that wearing, or is chetem wearing?
I thought it was a ring,
So
but
it's a
I thought it
signet
was
ring.
like a seal thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go has it as seal, but that doesn't entirely make sense in context. So
It must be Vigus then.
right.
That has it as signet ring, which does make
Okay.
sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's nice. That's nice.
So chetem is not a verb, it's the ring. What's the shuri?
Small.
small.
Small. Okay.
in Coptic,
There's a
almost
little
like-
gold
almost like-
ring.
Oh,
Sherry,
that's what.
Sherry. Same thing in
That's what-
Coptic.
I wanted to ask about that. Is that related to the word for boy? Like
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It's the same word.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
The
Okay.
sheriff and the sherry, the boy and the girl basically are
Yeah.
literally the small ones.
Yeah.
okay.
Cool.
So it's here used
Um,
here just as an adjective, but if it's a noun, it's usually a young person, a kid.
Right. By the way,
Okay,
little
so
side note, Heredu, like the more common word for kid in classical Egyptian, lives in Bohairic as Chroti, which is kind of cool. Only in Bohairic, not in Sahidic.
Yeah.
It still exists. But sorry, no, Kevin. Go ahead.
okay, so then the sentence is a weird one because it doesn't seem to have a verb. It seems like the whole thing is a noun. So it's like, and one with, or one small ring of gold on her hand.
Yeah.
So I guess,
I think it could just be an adverbial sentence, like
Right.
there was a small ring on her hand.
yeah. Oh, one with a small, but there's no what do you call that? Preposition there at all.
How would you say a ring was in her hand? Like freestanding sentence.
Oh, there it is. Yes. And one with the ring on her. And yes, I got it. So the subject would be the small golden ring, and the predicate would be on her hand. So it is just a simple adjectival sentence there, or adverbial sentence. Sorry.
Right. Perfect. And most of the words are still around in Coptic. I mean, Shere is still around, even though then Noob is certainly around. Dore is still around, the hand. You can't. I don't think you can say Dores anymore. I'm not sure, because they're like those few words inalienable body parts which can still take the suffix pronoun, like the word for arm, I think. But or mouth, but for hand, I don't know. Can you still say doors or something, or dores or something? Would have to check. But in any case, yeah, most of the vocabulary is still around. I don't know about Chetem. Would have to look it up. Cool. Who wants the next one? Mustafa, do you want it?
Yeah, sure. Then which line? I couldn't clear.
We're right here.
5.8. The second U.
5.8.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are ختمو شريو and noob Jared said. It's a adverbial sentence. Adverbial sentence. Wa ختمو a stone seal. Stone seal or seal, a seal, a small seal, and nebu, a golden small seal, to its or to its hand, for its hand. You said her cedenef, it's a, you said it is actually pseudo-verbal, as I understand this construction, or I don't know.
Construction for this one, you said Herjedenev.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is pseudo-verbal.
Right, exactly. It's one of those cases where he actually does write the her. Normally they leave it out, but in this case he does write it. I still haven't figured out when they do and when they don't put it, but here he does.
Then we can say it was saying, or it was saying.
Sorry to
It was
interrupt.
saying.
What do you think Seth is?
Actually, here it is here for dependent pronoun.
What kind
And
of pronoun?
which pronoun?
Oh, dependent, you said.
Yeah.
Well, let's think about it this way. So far, the whole sentence has been about Isis, right? So Isis changed her form. She's walking with a, how do you say it, with a hobble. There's a ring in her hand, and then it goes on. You something.
I don't know any context because I has a lot missing part. And
right.
it
Let's
said,
put it this
yeah,
way.
it said would be logical for then she was saying.
That's right. And
Where it gone? Yeah.
give me a quick moment. I sort of suspected that we'd need that today, so I'll put it into the chat. Bear with me. Open original. So the thing is, in late Egyptian, this is from Neveu, but you have it in the other grammars too. Set can just be the regular third person singular female. Su as well. So
Okay.
they're probably all pronounced S or Se at this point in time. And basically the spelling is
I just stuck in I was stuck in the Middle Egyptian.
right.
You said she was saying to him, O, it's the interjection, I think. Making I don't know what it means, probably related to walking, but
Yeah, I don't know either. Did anybody look it
To
up?
come. I think it's come.
Oh, this is just a form of to come? But what's the
So.
A doing in there? Or is
yeah,
that
logical,
actually?
actually.
Are we talking about Erie?
E-I-E.
Yeah.
E-I-E.
Yeah, that's the one. The one
Yeah.
with the walking foot and the reed and the eagle. Yeah, I had it as to go. So I had the sentence as I order you.
I've come to you.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
I have made come to you.
Yeah.
It's kind of causative.
Is it in Lesko?
Let's look it up.
Kind of late Egyptian version of prefix of s, causative s.
I mean, that's what it looks like with the Erie, right? But I'm still stuck on the spelling of to come. And for some reason, I don't see Lesko. Lesko, where are you? First one on the list, that's why. Yay. How would we even look this up now?
I would just look up E to come and then see if it's spelled like
we were
that.
just there a second
Yeah,
ago.
we were just there. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
It opened right to it.
Yeah.
There it is. It's right there. Yeah, it's page 15.
Page 15, okay.
And they got that weird spelling too.
Oh.
With the Alf bird right in the middle. Alf, yep.
Well, that's our text. I think, I mean, Lesestücke 464.
Oh.
Wait, they're multiple. Never mind. No. Here's another one, and here's another one.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is regular in late Egyptian, a kind of weird writing forms.
Interesting. So there must have been some kind of vowel or something that they wanted to specify, I think. Probably. Okay. So it just means it's just
Yeah, probably.
Ire yai enak.
Reyai enek o make go for you, or it is, I don't know, for you to speak, make come and speak.
Isn't it weird?
I
Must be
think.
something else. There's a hint.
Yeah.
What do you think this thing is?
It is interjection.
Could be, but up here just a moment ago was something else.
I mean, it cannot be first person.
Third future, you mean? Unlikely. Unlikely. I mean, it could be. It could be I will do, but I will do come for you doesn't really make much sense grammatically.
Okay. I don't know actually what this means.
I
Then
think it's second temporal again.
Okay.
Like second present. So
Nah, it's okay.
there's two ways how that can go. So you can have it, hang on. How do I get out of this? Help. It can be, you can have the second tense basically just by putting that er in front of it. So you can have basically your read leaf with a little A2 man behind it, and then just a verb. That's one way how to do it, like Esedjem, and then, for example, Esedjem F, that he hears is blah, 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 is today, or that he hears is in my presence, or whatever. Or you could do it with an iri in front of it. So it becomes read leaf, A2 man, speaking man, and then ire, oops, so hard to write with this thing, I apologize. And I'm not sure how iri is typically spelled in that case, but imagine that was the I, an R, and something, I don't know, probably double read leaf or something. And then comes the verb. So that's a longer way how to make the second tense. Would have to read up on when you use which one, but try if that works in this case. I would bet it does.
And just to be clear, for my sake, I'm sure you'll get it.
Yeah.
But that bit, that yod leaf, is the prophetic yod, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what Turner and Grawl call it.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me see if Nouveau has something good on that. Let's see.
Why is it called the prophetic yod again?
Because it's at the beginning.
That's it. It's not, I mean, it's not has nothing to do with prosthesis. It's just like the one that's put in front.
Well, that's
Exactly
what
what I was
prosthesis
wondering.
means. It's a thing that's
Yeah.
attached to your front.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, thank you. That is the connection that I
Great.
needed. Okay.
And the reed leaf is a yod. So
Well, let's have a look here.
It's interesting
Yeah,
how
it is a hieratic form of yacht. Yeah.
it's interesting how the relative and the second tense is made in the same way, just like in Coptic. You can't tell the difference sometimes.
Oh, you're right. It never occurred to me, but you're absolutely right. That's true. So here's a good example. I mean, I just pulled up Nouveau because I have that one in a clear PDF. Two ways how to form them. So you can just put the pathetic yod and then just the regular verb form as a SetGMF, or you can use the more complicated version with the iri.
This is great. Can you post this to Discord?
Absolutely.
And where did you get
This
the
is-
PDF of the book?
Say again?
Where did you get the PDF of the book? That's awesome.
I don't know. I
I
think
have
it's
a,
floating somewhere on the server, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
I have a
I think
hard
Yeah,
copy.
there is tons of copy of there's tons of PDF version of internet of it
Oh, sure.
of this book.
I think
As I
Christian might
understand,
even.
it is a language from
I'm not sure, but I think Christian might even link to it in our.
Yeah, I think that's right. I
Syllabus.
think that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can try to find the link again, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere. I mean, otherwise,
Yeah, I've got it.
got a paper copy too, but this is just so convenient. And here's a
Yeah,
great
it's
example of,
Oh no, he doesn't link to it.
he doesn't?
He doesn't link to a PDF of the language of Ramses, but I think it you could probably find it in
Yeah, I'm sure
places
it can.
where you find stuff.
yeah.
And here's a good example of how you'd use it. Like, for example, King Henry had Thomas Becket murdered in his cathedral. So in a second tense, Egyptian thinking would be, it was in a cathedral, or it was in his cathedral that King Henry had murdered Thomas Becket. So you want to use a second tense here.
Clever sentence to translate it.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, let's go back.
Thank you for that digression. That was very helpful.
It takes a while to get used to that one. So I bet that's what that is, the second tense here with iri. So now comes the
Okay.
question, what's being emphasized then? So what?
Mm.
I
Then
would take,
actually for previous sentence, as I understand, more like about as I understand, she, I mean, probably Isis or Hathor, go for saying, go for saying downstream or across the river for actually probably related golden seal, as I understand, maybe not.
I think you're close. If you take this one here literally, let me see if I can do the text thing. So it's a second tense. So and you can just take the iri as and the verb together as one thing. So iri. I don't know how to transcribe this. Geez.
Yeah,
iri?
this kind of.
I think you could just translate it normal, just as EII or JJ.
Okay, I'll do that. So that would basically be, it's a second tense. So that I come is that I come enek to you. Oops.
Oh yeah.
Erjed to say. I come to you to say, basically, or a bit more clumsily, that I come to you is to say, and then comes what you say. It's a bit clunky. That's why I thought I'd write it out, but I think that's what
It looks like it looks like we have two choices of what to emphasize. It could be,
Yeah.
it is to you I come to say, or it is,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Or it is to say this, that I
Yeah.
come to you.
that
Yeah,
I
Maybe
come
you.
to you. Yeah.
because then she says what she's come to say. The very
Right.
next
Right.
clause.
It is to you that
Like,
I come to say.
you
well,
can't
that's
actually
good.
tell.
Good point. Right, could be either.
So also, I think that B1 might be a suffix pronoun. So E, and K in Jed.
I think so. Yeah, this one here, right? Has to be.
Yeah, that one there.
So
Which is weird because it's before the rest of the verb, but
how does this work again? Great question. Let's go back to Nevu. Where do you stick the suffix pronoun in the combined form? Can go on both, but if it only goes on one, then it
E
goes on the iri.
Sejamaf, yeah.
Mm.
So it goes on the Erie.
So that's actually expected. Great question, though. I wasn't sure. Okay. So she says, maybe she says it's to you that I come to say, or maybe she says that I come to you is to say. Well, nuance, right? Cool. All right. Well done. So what does she say? Who wants the next one?
Should we look at the hieratic up until this point before we get too far ahead?
Can do as well.
I don't know. I mean, it's up to you guys. I don't want to interrupt the flow, but
I mean, it's
I'd like
quite
to do that.
crucial.
That'd be great.
Let's do that. Delete all annotations. How far did we get? We got to the ring, right? Okay. No, we're still stuck here. All right. So what stands out? Shim is nice. So just something like this. And then legs underneath. Okay. That's kind
Yeah,
of
I had to look that one up, but it's surprisingly regular, I guess.
right. Not so the MT here. I mean, that takes a certain amount of imagination.
No.
Yeah, I was confused by that one.
yeah.
I don't know if that's regular or not.
Okay, yeah. I'll be back. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Say again.
I was
you're-
surprised. Dot over the walking legs, is that the normal transcription of that? I was expecting like a dual stroke thing. But sorry, we should do the MT first.
No, you're right. I mean, let's get one to the. Okay, let's start with the MT. To your point. Hieratic. Where are you? Here. The combos are harder to find in the online version. So let's do paper.
Or virtual paper.
Have you ever found yourself trying to expand news magazine or a book? I do that more. There was this video.
Yeah,
of the toddler.
sometimes, yeah.
Absolutely done that.
I've done that more than once. I mean, like, why does this not expand? It's so embarrassing. But
There it is. MT.
Yeah.
No, there it is.
huh.
See it.
But honestly, that
Makes
doesn't look like
sense.
ours, does it? This looks way more regular. I mean, this is like a nice, you have an M, which makes sense. Should look like this. Oops. No, it should look like this. Let's do this properly. M should look like this, sort of. And then you just glue a T on there. So something like this. So if you do it quickly, maybe like this, sort of. But our friend here, I mean, and I guess if you know, I suppose, isn't the UT somewhat similar? The UT? Could have claimed that That's somewhat similar. Let's see, is there one around here? UT. There was one somewhere in the preceding lines. Well, no. I mean, that's a ligature here, so that doesn't really count. Here too.
There's one on the second line of page 1. And the fourth line of page 1. You're looking for quail chick and bread loaf, right?
Exactly. Yep, here's one. Look at this one.
On line 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can find it again. Here we go. So yeah, same thing, pretty much.
Is this the one that we said looked like Gen? The Japanese character Gen?
Japanese character again?
Mystery character?
Mystery character. I'm
I
completely.
can't call that up.
Wish I knew Japanese.
It might be a character that's used a lot in Zen and nowhere else.
Oh, okay. No, it doesn't ring a bell for me, but
Me neither.
it doesn't mean much. My Japanese is kind of.
Oh, there you go. Oh,
Oh, that one. Yeah, of course.
wow. Yes.
Chinese, sure. Mysterious.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Connection confirmed. Look at that.
Thank you.
Very cool. Yeah, you're right. It does look a bit.
Does look like Met.
A little bit. All right. So ut and mit look almost the same, I would claim. Let's go back to our. Sorry, if anybody gets seasick, my fault. By the way, we're getting towards the end of our document. I mean,
Oh,
the whole thing, but our
we gotta.
We're gonna
Who's
have to
gonna-
start transcribing. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I can do it.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, a couple of, yeah, for next plate. Yeah, I can,
That would be nice.
because I need exercise.
The GitHub, yeah, sure. We can send you a link. I'll put it in the. Or Ralph, I think you're the closest to it. Could you put it into the channel?
I will.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Okay, what else? You said Y. So is this here a Y on top of the walking legs or a smudge on top?
It really looks like a Y to me. Because it's got a little wiggle in it, right? It's not just a dot.
Right. And I would agree from the way it looks, it could even be a T, honestly. But I think the reason it's not a T is because there already was a T. And I think that's the same reason why it is not a Y, although actually, what is this? No, this is not a stative. This is just a regular infinitive. So
Lesko has it both with the dot and with the Y.
does
It
it
depends on how you want to read it, I guess.
Before?
Sorry, what was that?
I'm sorry. I meant, does he have it with a Y and a T before that, though?
Oh, with the T before it.
I mean, the only reason why I would see a Y after a T is because it could be like a T kind of ending, like a stative T, but that doesn't fit because it's not a stative. So I think that's why it's not a Y. But that's just my conclusion.
Well, neither the dot nor the Y have T's in Lesko's spellings. So there you go.
Okay, so the form just cannot exist.
We could check Ramses and see what they say.
Good point.
Yeah, Gardner has a dot, so maybe that's where our
Yeah,
transcription came.
Ramses has a dot too, or a smudge.
Okay.
Ooh, the smudge glyph.
Mhm. The famous smudge glyph. Okay, let's accept it then. It's the famous smudge or space filler dot, as it's sometimes called.
Hmm.
Seth, and you can barely see the T, abbreviated M. Then comes our very regular car, which always looks like this, sort of like an S. Well, wait a sec, they would probably have started over here. 1, 2, 3, something like this. I think it's fairly normal. But this one here surprised me. I mean, then comes the Z1 stroke, and then comes the Sa. And I'm not sure what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah.
Tap, tap, tap. That's this.
Hmm.
So I would say let's take a look why. Well, it's not a number. Different sound. Would help if you know your glyph numbers. I don't. Crikey. There's a lot of them. How about this? Oh, look at that. So
That makes more sense in its simpler form.
it does. It does indeed. There was a discussion once on Discord as to what this actually is. It's one of those objects where nobody knows what it's supposed to be.
Somebody
It's a
said
toilet
that it
paper
looks
roll.
like a toilet paper roll, and I will never.
100%. That's what I
Stop
always see
seeing
when I
that.
look at it.
Yeah,
Yep.
Totally a toilet paper.
That might have
roll.
been me that said
Oh.
that.
yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was. Yeah,
It's too funny. And what's the switch for on top? I don't even want to know.
Reversing the direction that you pull it in, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And that way, and to toggle the other way, wind it that way.
That must be it. Okay, all right. So that's what it is. You just abbreviate the whole thing at the bottom to a single horizontal stroke. And the one on top becomes, well, that's it.
there's in that second line, in one line down, it looks like a reed leaf with the top stroke pointed the other way.
Yes, doesn't it? It's actually a pretty consistent shape. If you look over I was going to say centuries, but I guess you could even say the millennia. It's fairly consistent. Only towards the very end it becomes a bit funky. But even that, I mean, it's just missing the little tick at the right. Very cool. Well, back to the text then. So that's then, I guess. Wait, where's our horizontal? Wasn't that supposed to have a horizontal?
No,
No, it doesn't.
it's got a horizontal there.
It does?
Yeah, go back to the.
Yeah.
See, you gotta count it.
Mhm.
You gotta count it because there's the X1 line or the singular line. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, this one. Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yep. And then the next one is the Sa.
Right.
And then there's another one of those lines.
Yeah, it's between every glyph. There's a.
Yeah.
That's right.
What is that? Is it an X1 or a Z1?
Z1.
Z1.
Yeah, and that does look like the elf or the yod with the top line flipped over on the other side.
Right. And I guess the horizontal line I was looking for is like this tiny little serifi thing at the bottom, which is barely there.
Yeah, it's just a serif. There's not a whole base there.
Got it.
It's
And then we have a falling man.
only the second one that really has that. Yeah, I like the falling man.
Just because
Oh yeah.
And the legs are separate, clearly. You can kind of see that's done in two pieces at least.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Let's go, unless there are any questions, I would say let's go to the next line and see what he does there. You pretty wa. Now here, that's not an R you really have to know. It's a gigantic T, but he likes to do that sometimes to fill space. So
Yeah,
then,
I was confused by that one too.
yep, makes two of us.
And then
This one
so
here,
C, we really have to look up.
I don't know what the glyph number is. Does anybody have it?
The ring.
JSash. Oh, you can go by word too, right? So you're right, ring. So I didn't think of that. Or seal.
It's S20.
Yeah.
Say again?
S20.
S20. Okay.
How did you find it so fast, Ralph?
Okay.
The shape table in the back of Alan.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I haven't used Alan yet, so I need to.
There's one in Gardner too. If you have that.
Yep, I've got that too.
Huh.
Not very enlightening, I have to say.
Well, I mean, you have a loop, you have a box, and you have a little something at the bottom that you somehow need to write. So how do we do this?
Yeah, like that's kind of the closest, but
Yeah, you can do it like this. You can do it like, you're right. There's a lot of ways how you could do this. This is sort of like the most intuitive, right? Just make a loop.
yeah,
Put
a
a
loop
box
and
on
then a
it.
box.
I mean, so this here, I kind of like best. It's also in the oldest versions here have that. But whether I like it or not, they do something very different.
It looks like they are getting neater as they go on in time, which is usually the opposite, right?
Right,
Don't
yeah.
they usually get sloppier?
Not completely. Here's the thing. When you get to like 25, Dynasty 25, I mean, after foreign domination and whatnot, they have this whole old Middle Egyptian revival movement and try to make everything super classical. It's sort of like European Renaissance or something. Suddenly everybody makes statues again. So they do the same thing. And the hieroglyphs show that too. They all become super archaic. I mean, not archaic, but classic, I should say. Archaic would be
Closer to the hieroglyph sign.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Which
They call it
means-
the say it reform, or
Yep.
how do you pronounce that?
Yes, that's right. Say it. I'm actually not completely sure. It's probably one of those super left things where you have to know how to say that if you're a professional. Luckily, I'm not.
Is there an iron hiding in there somewhere?
Go again.
Is there an iron hiding in that word somewhere?
Say
Right.
it.
Like the debate about how you spell Sadic?
Mm.
Oh, I see. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
What? No, that's German. That doesn't help. Dang it. Ja, Seite, mein Gott, das hilft nicht.
Well, the umlaut says it's Saiz, right?
That's why I
That's
thought
how I
it
would
was
read it, the way they spelled it.
I mean, what do you think, Ralph? Do you have a? Oh, here you go. Sayite. Okay. I mean,
There you go. Sayite.
Sayite.
Is Sayite?
Sayite, right? Looks like it. Okay.
Oh.
26th dynasty.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah, I know. I prepare my bachelor thesis on it, but I never think about Sayite or Said. I think it's just something is Said because Sais.
Yes.
It's his name Sais. Yeah, they come from the capital.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah.
so is that the capital that's in the Delta that's sacred to the old goddess? What's the old goddess's name again? Net? Nope, not that.
Definitely in the Delta, like you said.
Okay.
And who is the goddess of?
Ancient goddess Neith.
Oh, Neith. That's
There
it.
you
Yeah.
go.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
There you go.
I did not connect those two words before.
Is-
That's really interesting.
Is that the one two at the beginning of the story?
Yeah. Yeah. She talks. Yep. She's a weaver and a creation goddess and a huntress, and sometimes she's just arrows or a loom is her name.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Cool. Little side note, by the way, we just talked about how they get during that period, how they the glyphs get on the glyphs, the hieratic gets more traditional. That indicates, I mean, if they go back to forms that were like gone for 1,000 years already, would that mean that they would have all the documents around? You would think.
Right? Wow. Yeah. There is sometimes when they talk about certain rituals or celebrations, I know I remember reading when they were doing one of those renewal festivals for a pharaoh, that they said they sent priests to another city to go through the ancient library to make sure they were doing the ceremonies correctly.
Makes sense. Got you. Hmm.
So is this the Hebsed festival or is this
Yeah. Yep.
a different one?
And I can't remember who it was for, but it might have been for Ramses II because he did a bunch because he did it for so long.
So that could be one option, right? That you have all documents around. Why wouldn't you? I mean, that's very typical of all cultures to store sacred documents that you could use for models. On the other hand, also when you look at writing boards by students, their writing is usually more traditional than what they later do in writing texts. So just like when, I don't know how it was for you guys, but when I learned how to write our alphabet, I mean, we had to be like in the beginning super accurate, and then later it becomes whatever it becomes, right? So I'm thinking it's something similar in that case, that they may also have learned more traditional forms in school, quote unquote, and then
You learn the ideal, but in practice you do sort of a more relaxed thing.
the more relaxed thing, or whatever is typical in your time, right? It's quite funny. You have different handwriting styles. Sometimes you can tell like generation, gender, and so on. There are certain things. And I'm not just talking about putting little hearts on the eyes, but so there are some things that are characteristic. So I think you maybe learn like standard script in middle school, and then eventually, as you become a chord scribe, you would do like those flourishes, copper plate kind of. I don't know. I just imagined something like this, but I'm not sure. Hey guys, we're coming up on time.
Oh, we are.
So it looks like this is a box then, or maybe it's something like this. Let's continue here next week.
Sounds good.
Great.
Awesome. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Guys,
everybody.
see you next week.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.